Hi, my name is Jan from Max on Low Code, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to install Mendix Studio Pro and how to connect it with a local database engine, Postgres. We will start downloading the Mendix Studio Pro from the Mendix website by simply searching for Mendix Studio Pro within Google. If you don't have a Mendix account yet, please subscribe first and then continue this download. At this moment, 10.3 is the newest version, and you can download the newest version right here. Also look for long-term supported or mid-term supported version, which are Mendix releases that we can use for companies that are not really happy with updating frequently. So that's why you go choice for that. If you work for a team that has already a specific version of Mendix installed, you can look at this list and search for a specific release. In this example, 9.80.3 is a specific version that a team can use. So you can look for it and download this specific version in order to join this team. For now, we're going to use the Mendix 10.3 for this tutorial. Right after I clicked the blue button, the download started right away. Download might take a while. It depends, of course, on your internet connection. But when it's done, you can find it in the download folder on your Windows machine. By simply clicking on the downloaded file, you get through the Windows installation process in order to get your Mendix Studio installed on your computer. Once we are done installing the Mendix Studio Pro, the default opening page is presented to us. For this tutorial, we continue with creating a new project. You can choose from many templates, but for this tutorial, we will just go with the blank app and we hit the green button to continue configuring our Mendix application. We have several options. First, we're going to give here the name Get Started with Mendix, and when we see that all the settings are correct, we're going to create the app. Now, Mendix Studio Pro is creating for us our application and creates the work environment within Mendix Studio Pro in order to start building our Mendix application once this installation program is done. Our application has been created, which brings us to the second part of this tutorial, connecting to Postgres database. Just like we did with the downloading Mendix Studio Pro, we're going to use Google to find our Postgres application. I am going to search for Postgres 14, which we can find that right on the top. In my case, I'm going for the Windows installation, which brings me to the following options. At this point, version 16 is the newest version, so we go for that. We gotta navigate to the download page where we can find version 16, which I'm gonna download, and we will see that happening right away. So we're gonna set the folder where we're gonna install it. We type a password, and this is something you have to remember very well, otherwise you cannot get to your database engine anymore. The next thing we're gonna do is we just keep it with the assigned port. It's important for later, and eventually we're gonna set the local host, which will be installed by the application itself. Once the application is installed, we can easily check if everything is working by going to the pgadmin, which is the name of the database engine we're gonna work with. It will start up by itself and we can figure out how this application is working. Within pgadmin, we navigate to our Postgres version, and there is where we're gonna create a new database, which we are going to call Getting Started. Once we have filled the name out, we just hit the save button and we are done building our database. Now we need to get back to Mendix Studio Pro and set up the connection for the Postgres database. Within Studio Pro, we go to settings, and on the first tab we see the options for creating a new connection. First, we give a configuration name, which is something that needs to be meaningful in order to find it back later, and we give the type of our database engine is Postgres. The URL will be localhost followed by our port number of the database engine. I know from top of my head it is 5432. If you're not really sure what the port number is of your database engine, you can always go back to Postgres, look it up on the properties, connection, and there you see what the port number is. So you need to tell Mendix which port number it is so he can find it back. Here we're going to fill out the username and password of the Postgres database that we set when we were installing the application, and then we hit OK. Make sure that in the next screen you explicitly hit the make active, otherwise it will fall back to its default. Once running the application, by clicking on the green arrow, it's going to build our application. When that's done, we see that it needs to synchronize with the underlying Postgres database. Once we hit that, that is okay. Now Mendix is building a complete database for us. When we go back to the PG admin and to check out what happened, we now open our tables and we see a fully implemented database done by Mendix platform. And in order to see if our database is working correctly, we run a little test. We're gonna check how many users are currently logged in. So we run a select statement on our user table, and if we run it, we see that there has been one anonymous user that was of course accessing the home page that we created when we were running it locally. So to wrap up this tutorial, what we've seen in this tutorial on getting started with Mendix Studio Pro is we first downloaded and installed Mendix Studio Pro. We did it by simply searching for it on Google. We also had a connection with Postgres, and Postgres we also found by using the Google search engine, looking for it and downloaded it. We also did our first deployment, which resulted in a full synchronization with the database that Mendix completely built for us in PG admin. So I hope you like this tutorial. Maybe you can help somebody else with it when they struggle having the same issues that we were presenting in this video. So please provide any feedback you have in the comments below and keep learning.